Hey guys, happy Thursday afternoon, November 18th. Anthony Delicandro here at Compass Real Estate. I had a mastermind call a little bit earlier. For the better part of the last, I think, 10 plus years, have been what's referred to as an endorsed local provider or a provider of real estate service for Dave Ramsey. For those that know Dave, you'll know that I'm excited to have that alliance with Dave. And if you don't, published author of some best-selling books, as well as host of a nationally syndicated financial education and responsibility program that's been syndicated around the country. I had the pleasure of meeting Dave a number of years back at his office in Nashville, and it was one of the more memorable experiences that I've had. So it was a good time. So that being said, in the conversation, we talked about this quote here that's in the title about when seeking advice or representation on matters involving money, which obviously include real estate, one should seek someone that has the heart of a teacher and not simply a salesperson. And so in this conversation, we were talking about what that really means to have the heart of a teacher. And for me, in the conversation, I really thought back to the experiences that I tried to deliver along the lines of education and managing and establishing expectations, because we've had a wild market, especially a wild ride these last 18 to 24 months. And so managing the expectations for a buyer and a seller has been an important part of what I've tried to communicate in my conversations and representations. And so when I thought about those, I thought back over the last, again, 18, 24 months, when the pandemic first started in early 2020. If you remember, I went from doing quarterly market reports to literally doing market reports every single week, because the market was changing that dynamically. And here we are now at coming to the end of 2021 and about to enter another new year, and we still have a wild market. We've had incredible competitiveness in the early spring. Things felt like they cooled off for a short period in the beginning of the summer. We felt like we were getting a little more inventory again at the end of summer. And now all of a sudden we're finding ourselves coming out of the third quarter really lacking inventory in a lot of segments that we service here in southern New Jersey and around the country. And so in the spirit of education and in the spirit of setting expectations for both buyers and sellers, I wanted to create on a more frequent basis again updates as to exactly what's happening with market conditions here in the markets, and just establish, help establish some expectations for those that watch. So that being said, some of you, if you follow me on Instagram, simply my first and last name is my handle. I had shared this post yesterday where I've got some market stats here in some areas that we've serviced recently. Here is the Point Breeze neighborhood in South Philly, and we can see the absorption rate, very competitive sellers market. We can see a downtick in listings sold, a strong increase in sales price. But a lot of this was the result, and we'll see this in the several towns that I'll go through, was the result of this number, listings taken, and seeing the strong decline, 25% down year over year, which was down from a year last year, which was also a decline. So, we're finding ourselves with a low inventory again. Here is Fishtown, many of you know my hometown, down 30% in terms of total listings taken, more modest increase in terms of price, very competitive, 2.4 months supply of current listings. When we get back down here to the shore, Linwood, which is where I am now, we can see a very strong price appreciation, 18% up gain year over year. But we can also see, again, 32% fewer listings taken during this period. Again, a very competitive seller's market with a 3.6 month supply. Egg Harbor Township, a little bit of a more modest decline in terms of new listings that came onto the market. But again, coming off of a very competitive, very low inventory, 2.3 month supply, 17% increase year over year in terms of prices. And now the Seashore Community Ventnor, where we also do a lot of business, 23% gain in median sales price, 36% fewer listings. Again, uber competitive market at 2.5 months supply. And so as we look at these, we look at these towns, and we look at, and by the way, I've got on our website under market reports, you can view all of our third quarter reports, the entire Philadelphia region, metro and suburbs, the entire New Jersey, central and southern New Jersey region, as well as some of the details on a few of the towns. And if you would like detailed information on any town that you currently reside, please don't hesitate to just reach out directly, and we will make sure we get that data to you. But where do we go from here is kind of the expectation, and I wanted to focus this time on sellers, right? If you are a seller and you are considering entering the market this winter, you are likely to get multiple strong offers this season. We have been experiencing it so far. In fact, if you look nationally, homes on the average across the country are receiving multiple offers. In many of, if you take the United States and you look at it as though there's a letter U through the West Coast, the Southern coast, or the Southern corridor, and then the East Coast, right? New Jersey here, one of the darker blue colors, which means we are seeing more offers on average than many other parts of the country. Very, very competitive market. That is expected to continue as we move through the winter. We are not expecting to see a huge increase, although our inventories overall are massively depleted. For those that could be waiting for a wave of foreclosures, that's not going to happen. And basically, we're going to see continued competitive environments for buyers throughout certainly our region, most of the rest of the country. And that's basically the expectation that I wanted to set for sellers as we enter the further into the winter. Now, that being said, what to expect in 2022? We've been quarter after quarter after quarter of massive declines of inventory of people coming onto the market, and I've talked about this before, for very understandable and good cause. As we worked through this past 18 to 24 months, where at first lack of inventory had to do with personal health concerns and safety in the early stages of the pandemic. Then it turned into economic uncertainty when people didn't know just what the job situation was going to be long term. And eventually, as we moved through, people were concerned then about where am I going to live, if this work from home situation is permanent, do I just stay put and figure that part out? Now the biggest issue for a lot of people that are potentially looking to move, whether they are people that have bought homes more recently and quickly found themselves in a massive equity position and in a very advantageous position to take advantage of making a move up into a new home at a lower interest rate, because that is a very attractive move right now, or those that were downsizers that have owned homes for very long periods of time and now they're finding themselves again in a big equity position. In both of those cases, the big concern is, it's great, I can sell my home for more than I ever could, but where am I going to go? So as we move into the end of winter and ultimately spring, a lot of those questions will continue as they have been to get answered. People are going to make decisions. New construction will be a catalyst for a lot of these sellers that are looking for somewhere to go. And as these things start to fall into place, I do expect us to see an increase in overall listing inventory as we approach the spring market. So for sellers that want to experience the wildest supply demand imbalance that I've certainly ever experienced in 30 years, now is that time. If you're a buyer, you've got to buckle up and continue to maintain being competitive and work on making your offer the best in a competitive market. Certainly reach out if you have any questions on how to do that. But that's it. That's my update on market conditions for right now, Thursday. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was you find the content that we provide to be the most informative in our market here today. Have a great night. I'll see you soon.